Welcome to Octane Mobile Gaming. Welcome once again to the channel. I'm Octane, your host, and today we're going to take a look at the first deck for the new season. I did manage to get the ultimate form by going up to tier 6. So I stopped at tier 5 as you can see in my draw, but I did purchase some gems and go up to tier 6, which was quite profitable. Did manage to get one copy of the ultra rare and guaranteed master collection card, which gave me the buy one get one free copy of the ultra rare, which was quite nice to get a second copy of the ultra rare, and the shiny master collection card alongside the extra ultra rare gave me 2 pink star. Now this ultimate form is not gonna be a main damage dealer. This ultimate form will be a very useful it'll be a pretty useful supporting card, I would say. It won't be a main damage dealer because even though it's got a damage increase, it doesn't, for me, I don't think it has got the bang for your buck like a card like Uprising Coven. Now we're gonna start first and foremost with the supporting card. So the supporting card, so the supporting card for this week. The supporting card is not good. The supporting cards have never been good, but the supporting card for this week does create power gems. It creates 2 water power gem ones and heal for 1000% of hero recovery. It's got a 1 turn cooldown, which is not too bad. You can create 2 water power gem ones every single turn as long as you activate the battle skill. Now, comparing the support card to the main hero, which should be a bit more powerful, the main hero does create power gem 5s. It only creates 3 power gem 5s. It hasn't got any self increase, it doesn't give the deck any increase, and it cleanses 1 debuff from self. Now, I've got a problem with cleansing 1 debuff from self. That doesn't really work. It's no use to your deck. If you're just starting out in the game and you get this card hasn't really got much use. Hasn't really got much application. If it actually cleansed, say, 2 cleanse debuff from 2 cards on the team, you could have 2 of these cards and it would cleanse 4 debuffs from 4 cards on the team. It would cleanse 1 debuff from 4 cards on the team, which would be quite nice, but cleansing 1 debuff from self isn't really good. So in the grand scheme of things, I would say the supporting card is better than the main hero, even though it creates power gem 4s. Moving on to the ultra rare. So the ultra rare upgrades all water power gem by 2 rank. Now the ultra rare doesn't really create any power gems, it just upgrades power gems, but we have gotten used to the idea that when you get a deck that upgrades power gems, the ultra rare or the master collection card, whichever's got the skill to upgrade the power gems, doesn't normally create power gems itself. So it's a standard upgrade card when it comes to an ultra rare, or if it was a master collection card, we expect it not to create any power gems. So this one is okay for me. It permanently increases the damage of all water commander heroes by 35%, and it permanently increases the chance of counter skill to dispel the defender's skill by 10%. Now that can be pretty useful, not only up against ultimate bosses but in like GVG. So that's quite nice. This card will dispel Flatline. So Flatline is a debuff that affects card that does a revive. In events, we don't rely a lot on revive. We used to back in the days, but now we don't heavily rely on revive. So that isn't going to be a debuff that's going to affect you a lot. The 2 debuffs that's going to affect you a lot, the first of which is Slumber. So Slumber is going to affect this card because this card, it's got a passive ability that generates 10 water power gem 8s at the start of every turn. So that's going to be affected by Slumber. So if you get hit by Slumber, this card won't create any water power gems. Saying that, this card is unstoppable. So if this card gets hits with Slumber, Slumber won't affect it. But if you had any other card apart from this card that creates water power gems passively, it would be affected by Slumber. Didn't realize straight away that this card is an unstoppable. Slumber won't affect this card whatsoever because it is actually unstoppable. It will cleanse 1 debuff from each water commander on your team and dispel 1 enemy buff. Now comparing the ultra rare and the master collection card, I would say both cards they're equally good, because without the master collection card creating power gems, the ultra rare has got nothing to upgrade because it doesn't create water power gems itself. So both cards work together, it works in unison. So both cards are equally as good. This one is really good for the wave fights because during the wave fights you need cards that's gonna generate power gems passively, and this one does it quite well. It creates 10 water power gem 8s. 2 copies of the master collection card, you will have 20 water power gem 8s on the board. 3 copies, 30 power gem 8s on the board. You just need 1 card to give you a bit of boost and 1 card that can really knock the boss down as like a main damage deal, like Uprising Coven. So this one is quite nice. Really like the master collection card. Now moving on to the main card for the deck, which is the ultimate form. The ultimate form combines the ability of both the ultra rare and the master collection card, in that it upgrades all water power gems by 2 rank. It cleanses 1 debuff from each water commander on your team and dispels 1 enemy buff. That is quite nice. I like that battle skill. That battle skill is really good, especially in GVG. Plus, this card is unstoppable. So this card has got really good GVG application. Really good card for GVG. So it's a really good supporting card to actually have in your collection. However, we've got cards out there. It might not do the same thing that this card does altogether, but it does do one or probably 2 of the things that this card does. We're going to take a look at a few of those cards a bit later. This card is also unstoppable, so it can't be silenced by Slumber. It creates 10 water power gem 8 at the start of each turn. It permanently increases your damage by 35% as well, and it increases your ability to dispel the enemy's debuff by 10%. So it doesn't matter what the skill is, it increases the ability of the cards on the deck by 10% to actually dispel it or stop it. Now the next 2 debuff we've got, the first of which is Poison. Poison is, it's not like Thorns per se, it etches away at your health, so it basically it bleeds away your health, and quite fast, I might add. It does it quite fast. Slumber as well. Slumber won't affect this card, but Slumber will affect any card that's got a passive skill, so you need to get rid of Slumber. So this card is quite good, quite effective at doing that. It's got a 3 turn cooldown, but it has got the ability to dispel both Slumber and Poison, which are going to be 2 of the debuffs that will affect you quite dramatically this week. Don't worry about Flatline. Flatline is neither here nor there. So there we go. The current ultimate form is going to be the one of the cards that will give you the killer skill, obviously, because it's in its own event. The oldest of the 4 cards that will give you the killer skill is Titanic Terrors. Now Titanic Terrors is quite an old card. We don't see cards with this type of battle skill anymore. It used to be, and during the time when we used to get this create 1 power gem every single turn for 4 turns, and on the 4th turn it creates 4 water power gem or 4 dark gems, and if you are whatever, it will double the amount of power gems created. Those decks were quite boring. Thank God we have passed those times when we used to have these boring decks. So this one creates 1 water power gem 2 for 3 turns. On the 4th turn it creates 3 water power gem 2s and 4 water power gem 4s. If above 50 skill point on the 4th turn, applies overflow status for 1 turn. Heals for 300% of your recovery, and if overflow is active, the power gem 4 is doubled. Quite boring. It increases, so after the 3rd attack, it increases water commander's damage by up to attack, not damage. Attack by 30% for the next turn, and it starts at 7.5% and increased by 7.5 for every 100 skill point. It creates an ultimate gem, which is absolute garbage. Won't talk about that. Headstrong Siren is a really nice card to use this week. It destroys all non-water gems and heal for 700% of, destroys 8 non-water power gems, non-water gems, not just power gems, but any gems that's not water gems that's on the board. Destroys 8 and heals for 700% of your recovery per gem destroyed. It increases the drop weight of water gems, so it's a gem rainer, and it creates power gems based on intensity. So it creates 6 water power gem when you activate the battle skill, but every time you generate 100 chaotic killer intensity, it generates 1 extra water power gem force. So it's not water power gem 5s or 6 water power gem 4s, but every little helps. It's got a 3 turn cooldown for the battle skill, and every time you attack, it destroys 2 non-water gems on the board. The passive ability Streamlined is quite nice if you've got 16 or more water gems on the board, so it doesn't have to be power gems. Water gems, power gems, as long as they are water and you've got 16 or more on the board, you increase the attack of chaotic killer cards by 1600% for one turn. So if you can create 16 or more water gems on the board every single turn, it will give you that 1600%. So that one is quite nice. This one won't help you out in the dispel department. This one, Trojan Lovers, is quite nice. So if you haven't got the current ultimate form, but you have got Trojan Lovers and you have got Headstrong Siren, you're okay. You can create quite a nice deck using those two cards. Trojan Lovers. Trojan Lovers will increase Water Commander's damage by 120% for 4 turns. So this is quite nice for the wave fight. So you activate it on turn 1. When your first wave comes, you get 120% increase for 4 turns. But remember, Trojan Lovers has got a 5-turn cooldown, and the power up or the boost only lasts for 4 turns. So you've got 1 turn when you're not getting that 120% damage increase. Next thing it does, it reveals a weakness in the target for 3 turns. So for 3 turns, you are able to create 3 water power gem 6s for every attack. What that means is, if you've got 5 water commander cards on your deck, when each card attacks, you'll create 3 extra water power gem for each one of those cards. So that's 15 extra water power gem 6s. If you've got, say, Metaverse Master on board, you will only create 12, and if you've got another card that isn't a water commander, you'll create 3 less, and so on and so forth. Passive ability: when another water commander attacks, it heals for 1000% of hero recovery. It permanently reduces damage by 10% as well. And in the dispel department, it won't help you out because it doesn't dispel any of the debuff for this week. Let's look at some useful cards. So some useful cards for this week that will help you out in the department of creating power gems. This one is Nocturnal Herald. It creates 5 water power gem 6s, and it creates 1 more per charge of Omen. Now Omen can go up and up and up and up. There's no upper limit for Omen. However, saying that, if you get to 35 Omen with this card, might as well activate it, because even if you generate 70 Omen, it's not going to double up on the amount of power gems that it creates. It's just going to create a full board of power gems. They're not going to be upgraded because it doesn't do that. It just creates power gems. Okay, so this one can create a full board of power gem 6s, so it's quite nice. And every time a healing skill is used, it stores 1 charge of Omen. It heals every single turn for 5000% of your recovery, so this will help you out quite a lot, especially if you're hit with poison, because it does heal. And that heal not only heals you, but it actually triggers Mysterious Omen, which is the first passive. That's the one that generates the Omen. At the start of the battle, it starts with 3 stocks of Omen, and each card for this deck stores its own Omen. So this card won't benefit from the Omen generated by the Ultra Rare Master Collection card, only the ones generated by itself. Okay, next card up is Surgeon Seas. Surgeon Seas, I like Surgeon Seas because it creates power gems, water power gems passively. So it's quite nice for the wave fights. It creates 6 water power gems at the end of each turn. So this card is a card that you would use with a card that upgrades power gems passively at the beginning of every turn. However, this card doesn't really work well when you've got a debuff like Chaos, which thank God we haven't got this week because I hate Chaos. This one will create 4 water power gem and heal for 5000% of your recovery on attack for 3 turns. That's when you activate the battle skill. But the passive ability also creates water power gem. It creates 6 water power gem 6 at the end of each turn. The next passive ability, Storm Fury, increases water commander damage by 100% on turns when you start with 10 or more water power gems on the board. So that's quite nice. That's a 100% increase. this will work quite well in a wave fight because you will get a 100% increase as long as you've got 10 or more water power gems on the board. So that's quite nice. Combine this with the likes of this card, Trojan Lovers, works quite well. Black Flag Marauders is one of a card that will upgrade power gems. It doesn't upgrade it by 2 rank like the current ultra rare and the current ultimate form, but it does upgrade all power gems on the board by 1 rank higher, and it creates 13 water power gems 7s. That's quite nice. It creates 6 water power gem 6s and heal for 3000% of your recovery on attack. So this is also a card that will create water power gems passively. It permanently increases water commanders damage by 30%, so that's a 30% damage increase combined with the 100% damage increase coming from Surgeon Sea. That's 130% damage increase, plus Trojan Lovers give you 130% for 4 turns, so that's quite a bit of damage increase you've got going on there passively over a certain amount of turns. Trojan Lovers is 4 turns, Surgeon Seas is every single turn, Black Flag is every single turn, so that's quite a bit boost you've got there. So that those cards are quite nice for the wave fights. Next card up is Tundrel Trickster Trackers. Most of the time I just see letters in the word and just call it what I want. It creates 10 water power gem 7s and then destroy all non-water gems. It has a 1 turn cooldown, so this one creates water power gems every single turn as long as you activate the battle skill. So that one is quite nice for the wave fight as well. Whenever you match 7 or more water gems together in one match, it heals for 3000% of your recovery and increases water commanders damage by 75% and resists 15% of damage. So this one as well will give you a bit of damage increase. So you got quite a bit of damage increase coming from all those cards. Uprising Coven will be a card that most people will be using as their main damage dealer. Managed to get it up to 4 pink star, however last season was its last appearance in the Proving Ground store, so I won't be able to get any more cards. Boy, it took a long time. 3 seasons to get free cards. 3 seasons, so every season I had to buy 1 card. I had 1 ultra rare before, and I managed to get 1 ultra rare in the last water event from the vault. Got it as one of the vault cards, which was quite nice, so I just needed to purchase 1 master collection card. However, the next 2 cards that I need, I don't know I'm gonna get to take this one up to 6 pink star. It's awoken 4 times, so it's almost at its maximum. Increases self damage by 200%, and that's what we're looking for in a main damage dealer. Main damage dealer is a card that you want to increases its own damage, so when it gets extra damage boost or attack boost, it combines to give you a massive bang for your buck. This lasts for 2 turns. It creates 6 water power gem 5s. It attacks for 5000% of recovery. That is absolute garbage, doesn't do much, don't know why it's there. It heals for the same amount, that is okay. It cleanses 1 enemy debuff from each water commander on the team and dispel 1 enemy buff. So that bit we've actually got on the current ultimate form. Current ultimate form does the same thing as this card, so having these 2 cards on board might be beneficial, might not be beneficial, but having these 2 cards on a GVG deck will be very beneficial. So it's quite a good card. I do use it for GVG, and that is why I focus so much of my attention on getting it up to 5 pink star. 6 pink star is where it's at. That is where you'll do your most damage in GVGs, because the 6 pink star wardens are almost impossible to kill unless you've got a damage dealer, main damage dealer that's got 6 pink star. Its passive Everlasting Lifeline creates 4 water power gem 5s whenever this hero attack, and this hero is actually unstoppable, just like the current ultimate form. Apart from the battle skill dispelling debuffs and buffs, it will not aid you when it comes. Its dispel won't dispel anything that is being used this week. Now, this card, Wave Warrior, I actually like this card really. When the deck came out, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. This one, you can use this one as a main damage dealer if you haven't got anything else that is, with the likes of Metaverse Master and High Performance Unit Area, because it's an Immortal Killer card, and that's why it's there, just showcasing what you can use. You can use Supreme Santa if you haven't got the current ultimate form, but you haven't got, say, the likes of Uprising Coven. You could use Supreme Santa with a Noble Killer card as your main damage dealer and just put probably Surgeon Seas on board. But if you've got like the likes of Headstrong Siren, I would say go for Headstrong Siren and forget Supreme Santa, because Headstrong Siren has got a 3-turn cooldown while Supreme Santa has got a 6-turn cooldown. But if you haven't got anything else that can boost up your deck, Supreme Santa is one to go for. Circuit Break Illyria is also one that you could use for Arcane Killer. Again, it's got a 6-turn cooldown. The next thing is it's a fire card, so you will need either to put 2 Fire Relic on board, so when it creates its fire power gems, those 2 relics, depending on what type of relic they are, because some relics you have to create 12 of that affinities gem on the board to actually create 1 fire power gem. Or if you've got a new relic, if you've got 5 or more power gem of that affinity on board, it will create 1 extra power gem. But because it's a fire card, I don't so much entertain the idea of using it, but is something that you can use if you haven't got anything better. Again, High Performance Unit Area and Metaverse Master works very well with Immortal Killer. Wave Warrior is an Immortal Killer card, but you might find other Immortal Killer cards that you can use. Some suggestion for non-event combination. Non-event combination, you can use Holiday Santa, which, as I said last season, if you had your coins, hopefully you crafted this card, because this card is going to be very useful this event. What it does, it cleanses 1 debuff from all Water Slayer. That will cleanse any debuff that hits this card. It won't cleanse any debuff from the other cards, because the other cards would be commander cards anyway, but it will be able to cleanse 1 debuff. It only needs to cleanse 1 debuff just from itself, so that is absolutely brilliant. I think that's really good. It gives the next water hero that activates its battle skill 500% damage increase for 1 turn, which is quite good. It creates 12 water power gem 8 and heal for 5000% of your recovery. The first time a hero activate their battle skill each turn. Can be used in the wave fights as well, as long as you've got cards. If you've got, let me see, if you've got this card, let's go back. If you've got this card and you combine it with Holiday Santa, it will work quite well in the wave fights, because every turn when you activate that card's battle skills, Holiday Santa will create 12 water power gem 8s on the board, so it's quite good, quite a good card. Hopefully you crafted it as I said. So Holiday Santa will give Uprising Coven 500% damage boost, alongside the 200% self damage increase that it's got, giving it a whopping 700% damage increase. You could combine Holiday Santa with the likes of Metaverse Master to gain an extra 140% damage increase. This doesn't belong there. The only reason why that one is there is if you haven't got Trojan Lovers, then this is the next card that you could use. So if you're gonna create this deck, I would say go for Metaverse Master. So Metaverse Master, put that there, put my Metaverse Master there. So that would be your optimal combination if you're going to use this combo. So your main damage will be Uprising Coven. Black Flag Marooners will give you a bit of boost. Trojan Lover will give you a bit of boost. Trojan Lovers give you 100, I should say, 120% damage increase. So that's 120% coming from Trojan Lovers, 150 coming from Metaverse Master, 500 coming from Holiday Santa. Uprising Covenant's got its own 200, and Black Flag Marooners I think give you 30%. Every little helps. 30% damage increase, plus it upgrades the power gems by 2 rank higher. The relics that I chose to put on this one is this one. So it's Tidebreaker Harpoon that comes from Headstrong Siren's deck. Breaks 3 Chaotic Shield at the beginning of the battle. The next one is the current ultimate relic. This one will break 3 Chaotic Shield and 1 extra for each water ultimate form that's on the board. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will break 7. Then I've got 2 Arcane Killer relic on board. This is Noble. Sorry, this is Arcane. We haven't got a Noble on board. No, we haven't got a Noble, so I'll probably swap this one out. This one is also a Chaotic Killer, and this one I would say swap this one out. You could use let's go for Ketter's Bow. And the good thing about Ketter's Bow is that Ketter's Bow will allow all relics, that says all relics which create water gems now create 1 additional water gem when at least 1 water affinity hero is on the team. We've got 4 water affinity hero on the team, so each one of these relics are going to create 1 extra water power gem. So it acts almost like a relic that creates water power gems anyway, so that's quite nice. Next up is this combination. Now this combination, again, I've got Uprising Coven, but this combination I would put the likes of, say you haven't got Uprising Coven but you've got the current ultimate form. Use the current ultimate form, because this card, let's get off that. So this card is going to give you a 1,600% increase. This card is going to upgrade all water power gems by 2 rank. Don't really need to upgrade it anymore, so what I would say is get rid of this one, give yourself a bit more boost in the form of Metaverse Masters. If you haven't got Metaverse Master, I would say go for the ultra rare. This one, I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is the ultra rare, isn't it? No, that's not the ultra rare. This is the ultra rare. I'll say go for the ultra rare. So if you haven't got Metaverse Master, use the ultra rare from Headstrong Siren's deck, because what that one will do, it will also give you 1,300% attack increase as long as you got 16 or more water power gems on the board. So this would be a Chaotic Killer, a deck that's primarily focused on Chaotic Killer. You could remove this one. You could, because what that one is going to do for you, this one is going to create 10 water power gem 7s. So rather than use this one, I would say swap that one out and go for the likes of, say, I think it's Noble Killer, isn't it? No, it's Beast. I think it's Beast Killer. No, not Beast. I think it's actually Noble. No, it's not Noble. What is it? I know it's not Immortal Killer. I think it's Arcane. No, I don't think it's Arcane. Yep, it's actually, I'll go for that one. It's actually Arcane. Didn't realize that it was Arcane. Yep. So I would say put that one last. I would say go for Black Flag Marooners to give you the upgrade. Again, you haven't got any Noble Killer on board, so I would say remove this one, which is a Noble Killer, and put in Ketter's Bow. And there you have it. So this one would be a this one will definitely be event combination, and this one will be a non-event combination. Which one is going to be more powerful? I can't really say, but if you've got the current ultimate form, you could, if you've got the current ultimate form, you could use it instead of Black Flag Marooners. Current ultimate form will work far better than Black Flag. Maroonders, put it at the last, as the last card you're gonna activate. And what's gonna happen is that this one and this one, because both cards are Chaotic Killer, you're not gonna get 900% from both cards Chaotic Killer's skill. So this one's got Chaotic Killer 3 and this one has got Chaotic Killer 3, so they both increase Water Commander's damage by 900%. What will happen is you're going to get, I think it's about 25% of that boost from one of these cards, and then the next one will give you 100%, and that is what is going to happen. Sorry about the noise, I'm actually at work, so yeah, his night is actually unavoidable, but I'm coming towards the end of the video now. So those are some of the combination I've got for you. Tomorrow I'll have more combinations for you. So until tomorrow, we'll do possible deck combination. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. This is Octane saying peace and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.